Hey there, friends. What's up, everybody? So today I thought I would show a little bit about Code Sandbox and a workflow that I really appreciate. So here I'm going to go ahead and click on Open in React, and that'll just take me to Code Sandbox new. But Code Sandbox can be used to create a whole bunch of different projects. Here it says you can open VS Code directly in Code Sandbox. I actually have done that, and it's pretty wild. Like, I can do all the VS Code things that I really enjoy and stuff. It's really super cool. If you go to your preferences, I'm also using the Night Owl theme, and yeah, it's pretty legit. Yeah, we've got our Code Sandbox here, and we can use modules, and we can do all kinds of things here. Let's fork this so that we get our own unique Code Sandbox. And I'm going to say, hello, YouTube. And we'll say, this is getting deployed. Sweet. Okay, cool. And we've got our CSS styles in here too. And so we can do like just about anything we want to. We've got our dependencies. I'm going to add a whole bunch of stuff. We can also download this and run it locally, but I'm not going to download it. I'm going to have it all 100% right here in the browser. So I want to, actually what I can do is I can pop this open in a new window, and I have this URL. I can send people to it. I can connect to backends. I can do all kinds of things right from here. But if I wanted to have my own domain or something like that, then I want to have it hosted somewhere. Code Sandbox doesn't support hosting. And so what I need to do is somehow get it to a hosted place. Now, we can actually deploy right within Code Sandbox. We can deploy to Zeit now, which is pretty cool. I'm already signed in. I have an account with Zeit. So if I deploy, then I get a URL here, and I can manage my deployments here. I actually don't know if that's something I should not show you. Hopefully it's okay. Yeah, nothing super all that interesting. So yeah, so I can manage that deployment. I can see, okay, it's installing dependencies. It's going to run my build. And I'll get it actually deployed to Zeit now. And then here I can install the GitHub app to deploy every pull request automatically, which is actually pretty legit. So I'll go ahead and do that. I've been meaning to do this anyway. Continue. I'm going to show you how to do this with netlify, but I'll do this with now really quick. Yeah, sure. We'll just do this with all of them. We'll install it. I do not have my password saved in Chrome. You do not see that. I've been meaning to get rid of that. I'm using one password for everything. Sweet. Review my details. I don't have a name. Maybe I should get a name. Ent C Dodds. Save that. My avatar looks sweet. All right. Sweet. So we'll just, yeah, it's just teaching me how to do this. I'm good. Okay, so I'll do this later. But one thing that I really like about Netlify is how awesome their GitHub integration is. And it looks like Zeit has a pretty sweet GitHub integration also. And the fact that it has Code Sandbox integration is pretty cool too. So here we've got that published now, and we've got our own URL. We can use Zeit to purchase a domain name and do all kinds of things. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to switch us over to Netlify. Please don't ask me whether I prefer Netlify or Zeit now. I think they're both awesome. I've been really sold on Netlify. Netlify also has like a whole bunch of other features like identity and other things that I don't have to deal with myself. So I really like Netlify a lot. Okay, sweet. So one other integration that we have here is GitHub. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll create a new repository. Example, Code Sandbox, GitHub, Netlify. And we'll create that repository. Bow, bow, bow. And sweet. So now we'll see that we've got this. And if you look at the URL, we're at /github/KencyDodds/ the repo name I just created. /tree/master, and I can actually get rid of that tree master. That'll take me to the same place because master is the default branch. So awesome. And I can make changes here. I could say hello YouTube, and let's add a camera. That's control command space. If you're on a Mac, you can do that. We'll do this one. Hello YouTube. I'm getting a little warning here, probably related to, yeah, it's ESLint JSX accessibility. This is not accessible. You need to put it in a span. All right, let's do that. Span. And aria label camera icon. There we go. Right? Oh, labeled by. Wait, no. Aria label should work. Here, let's think we're not getting enough. Does it need a description? Yeah, aria label by what? Oh, role of image. Yeah, role img. There we go. Come on now. Come on. Maybe that's not updating. We want to be accessible. Am I spelling something wrong? Here, let's refresh. Maybe codesandbox has got a bug with its ESLint integration. Looks like that might be the case. Okay, cool. So I've made this change. You'll notice that when I made the change, it actually forked the sandbox and it made me an entirely new one. So I've got like thousands of codesandbox boxes hanging around. But if I go to the project info, I'll see that it's interesting. I should see that it's forked from my fork. But if we go to GitHub, there we go. We'll see that it's a GitHub repository. That's the upstream or origin. Right now it's determining my changes. It's having an internal server error. What? Try this again. Why are you using the aria label attribute? So that people who are using screen readers can know what this thing is, because I guess some screen readers don't read that as the camera icon. So accessibility, man, it's important. All right, so let's try this again. Boom. All right. So it's not going to show me like a diff of the changes, which is too bad, but I mean, goodness gracious, this is pretty sweet. I can commit from the browser. So I'm going to say add icon, and we'll commit that. I can also open a pull request, which maybe I'll do here in a sec. So yeah, now I've actually committed. If I command click this, it's going to take me up here, and I can look, and just now I added that icon, and I can look at that diff. It created with my user because I'm logged in into GitHub. And yeah, there's that diff of that commit, which is sweet. And then it also has this link back to being able to open the code sandbox at that point in time. I can make more changes. I can do all kinds of things, which is just amazing. So here, let's go ahead and, and I can also make changes in this and I have those changes reflected. So here I've got name new. I don't want it to be called new. I want it to be called example code sandbox GitHub netlify, right? That's what I want it to be. So I'm gonna, we'll commit that. And then if I go back here and I click on this, we're gonna see that the title changed. See, now it says example code sandbox GitHub netlify. Sweet. And I can look at my package.json and see that change is reflected. So it happens instantly, which is pretty rad. All right, sweet. So let's get this on netlify, right? So I'm gonna go here. Let me pull this off screen just in case. I don't think there's anything I don't want you to see, but you never know when you're logging into services like this. So let me just double check. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of silly sites and things. Yeah, nothing personal. So I go to app.netlify.com. You'll be asked to log in. So you log in with GitHub. And then I have a list of all my sites in here. It's actually really cool. You can drag and drop. And if you want, you can do drop.netlify.com. And that's app.netlify.com/drop. You can actually drag and drop a folder that has an index.html in it, and it will upload it automatically, and then you can add that site to your account. It's just awesome. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do a new site from Git. I'll do GitHub. Oh, and by the way, on this drop .netlify.com, you don't actually have to have an account. You can do this like totally anonymous. Don't abuse that because they're being really nice doing that. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to do example code sandbox. We'll hit enter and I'm sure that we will find it. There it is. Sweet. I'll click on that. Then npm run build is the default. So if we look at, actually here, we'll do package.json here. This is using React scripts, so it has a build script that will create our application and create a directory called build. And so we want to publish the build directory. We don't really have any advanced settings, so we're just going to leave that as it is. So all default settings here. So then we click deploy site. Sweet. So site deploy is in progress. It's going to take a little bit. We can click on this and look at the output stuff. It's going to install all of the things. And it's normally, after the first time, it caches a whole bunch of stuff. And it's normally very fast in deploying, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now while that's deploying, I'm going to make another change. So we're going to go in here and we're going to say this has been deployed. All right, big change. It forks the sandbox. And then if I go, and it forks it with my changes. And then if I go to GitHub again, it's going to fetch those changes. And I can say, we've been deployed. Hooray. Okay, and this time I'm going to do open PR. So it's going to fork the repository. In my case, it actually doesn't need to fork the repository. So it'll just open the pull request. Then it pops up the pull request right here. I'm going to allow pop-ups. Oh, now it's gone. That's too bad. Yeah, so it makes this branch, code sandbox. What is that? Date.now or something. And then we've been deployed and our commit message. So it's like, here's that one commit. And then if I want to, I can actually, like, let's say I wanted to make a change to this before, I can go ahead and add that tree / oh, actually, it's done it already. It's on there. So if you want to update a pull request, you just do the same URL. You just basically, take everything after .com on your GitHub and add it to codesandbox.io/s/GitHub. And it'll open that code sandbox up at that branch. And so then I can make another change. I can say another exclamation point. You'll notice it's coming from from GitHub. If I save this, and it's going to actually fork again. So I've got like 4 copies of this code sandbox. They're dealing with all that stuff. And then I can go to GitHub and I can commit directly to more excitement. I'll commit directly to that branch. So I just do commit. Then if I go here and we'll refresh now, because I committed to this branch, it's going to have that. So it's sweet. So now I can create this pull request. And now with Netlify, we have actually deployed already. If we go back to deploys, we're going to see a deploy preview is being built right now. Just pretty rad, to be honest. I think that's awesome. Here's our live application right now. So it's getting deployed. It has gotten deployed now. That's why we're making this pull request. And we're seeing this deploy preview, and it looks like it's live. Sweet. So now we've got the preview right here. We can look at what it's going to look like. It's at another URL that's not our main URL. And we can see the difference. And what's really cool about this is their integration with GitHub means that I get this huge status thing. So I can see whether headers rules have changed, pages have changed, redirect rules. It tells me all this stuff. And then I've got the deploy ready, so I can get to it right from here. So I don't even have to go to Netlify to see what has changed, which I built this at my last company, and it was like a little bit of a pain, but it was so nice. And I didn't have all of this cool stuff. I think I had a URL convention where it would be like, ourapp.com/PR/PR number or /build/number, something like that. Because I didn't have these status things, which are pretty rad. So anyway, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to show. If I added another commit, it would rebuild and redeploy again. And so let's go ahead and we'll merge this. I like squash and merge, so we'll squash and merge this thing. Deployed. Sweet, and that gets squashed and merged, and instantly we will get another deploy going. And this has a big cache in place. It runs the build. Like it already had node and everything already in the cache, and the build runs pretty quick. So here we're creating an optimized production build. It is a small app, so like clearly it's gonna run fast, but it's already live. So sweet, we can go to the app. Oh, here, that's a preview. Let's go preview deploy. There we go. Sweet, and it's been deployed, right? That's pretty cool, right? Here, let me share that with you all here. So you can see what it looks like. Now in my settings, I can go here, domain settings. So I can add a custom domain if I wanted to. I don't really want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to my general, and I can change the site name, and I can make it be something more interesting, like example code sandbox, GitHub, netlify. Yep, and as long as nobody's taken that site name already, then I get that one. And now we can go here, and I'll paste that in here. Sweet. So netlify has a whole bunch of other really cool things that I like. And I use this thing all of the time. Getting those preview deploys on pull requests is just the most legit thing ever. Being able to integrate directly with code sandbox and like make commits and all of that stuff, that is wildly awesome. Another thing that I do often is I will actually, here, let's go back to netlify here. Sometimes I'll actually use netlify as my CI, and so it'll run my tests and things. And so if I go down to deploys, maybe deploy settings, yeah, here we go, edit settings. So I'll run npm run test and npm run build, and that way I have my test running too, which is pretty sweet. And then I can run a deploy, trigger deploy. I can clear the cache, but I don't need to clear the cache for this. So I'm gonna trigger that deploy. It's gonna extract the cache. Cache 100 megabytes. And it did that in 765 milliseconds. Pretty good. Okay, so first it's gonna run the tests. Because we're on CI, oh, no test found related to files changed since last commit. Oh, this is a problem. Okay, so let's go back. I'm glad that I did this. So what it's doing is actually Jest is in watch mode right now. I thought this was, this had CI set, but it evidently does not. Here, let's cancel this. Cancel. Huh. Well, I would expect there to be a cancel. We'll just leave that running, and we're gonna go to deploy settings, and we'll edit variables, and we'll see CI is 1. Just to say, yep, this is CI. And we'll go back to deploys. We'll trigger another deploy. And this time, the tests should all run rather than run in watch mode. So by default, React scripts or create React app will run your tests in watch mode when you're local. And then when you're on CI, CI service like Travis or something, then it's going to run in like normal mode, just run everything like with coverage and stuff. And apparently Netlify doesn't do anything to indicate to React scripts that we are actually in a CI situation. So I think it's going to wait for this. Man, there's got to be a way to cancel. That's weird. All right, well, eventually this will time out, and then this one will run, and it'll work. So yeah, that's it for today. Let me just check if there were any questions I missed. Hey, first of all, I want to say thank you for doing a great job. Thank you. I wanted to know, what are the advantages of using React testing library over Cypress? So I talk about this a lot. You can find my content just by Googling a little bit, but yeah, so there are different levels of trade-offs. I've got this thing called the testing trophy where end-to-end is at the top. We've got integration and unit. I use React testing library for my integration and unit tests of components. And the benefit of that is they run faster and they're easier to write. And so that's why I spend a lot of my time down there. But then Cypress testing library is closer to the way that Cypress is closer to the way that users actually use your application. And so that's why I like doing that. So yeah, now why, if you like React testing library, then you should check out Cypress testing library, which Adam mentioned, which is pretty cool. Do you recommend Netlify for Node.js app? So Netlify has support for serverless functions, and so if you're building a bunch of like microservices and stuff, then yeah, you can totally use Netlify. Zeit now just added some sweet monorepo support stuff where it'll work with a whole bunch of other things. So that might be something to look at another time. Thank you, Chance. Thank you, everybody, for saying nice things. Okay. Do we have a Black Friday sale? I don't know. I don't make pricing decisions on testingjavascript.com. But thank you for the excuse for me to say, hey, testingjavascript.com. Great, and you should go check it out and buy it and stuff. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna be all done now. Yeah, that was fun. I will see you all next time.